I feel like I'm gonna get hate for sharing this, especially publicly on this platform. But this whole "I'm just a girl" situation has once again proven something that I've been saying that a lot of us have refused to come to terms with, which is that men and women, we have become culturally incompatible, and because that's it. We've just become culturally incompatible. We no longer share the same ideals. We no longer believe in the same things. We no longer want the same goals in life. We no longer believe in each other. We no longer trust each other. We no longer give each other any type of grace. We don't see any good in each other. It's like our ideals, the things like how do I more morality, we have different versions of what's moral and what's not. Like the only thing keeping us together, the only thing we have in common at this point is race. And I'm just a girl. Of all the people that y'all would try to chase off this app, definitely, I mean, if y'all gonna go after her, do you know how many others that are significantly worse or do the exact same thing she does, but for, like, come on, man. Simply because what she's advocating for, and what she's advocating for is why y'all coming for her. And that's, for me, is proof enough that anyone that advocates for this, anyone that advocates for us, finding a common ground and cohabitating in peace gets their reputations ruined. And I'm like, what more proof we are no longer culturally compatible. The only thing we have in common is race, and I don't think that's enough to hold the people together. I just want to share.
Hey folks, back again. On Saturday I said I was going to pre-recorded a talk about how the manosphere, especially the black manosphere, is not toxic, it's tired. And I've been realizing that over the past couple of years, and when I was listening to Mr. Z for the 200th time try to explain why women are wrong for the way they think and the way they feel and how they go about doing their business, man, I really felt that I was tired. I was tired of hearing it. Because he was talking about how much black men earn. The median man's done the same thing, and what their aspirations for a man is for them to be with him or even be married to him, and how unrealistic it is, and how it's going to make their life more miserable and make their life tougher. Basically, they're not listening. They're not listening. And no matter what you say, how you say it, or how much you show to them, or how many facts you put in front of their face, they're going to stick their fingers in the ear and go, la, 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 right? And they're going to put their hand over their eyes and say, I don't see anything. And put their hands over their mouth like, I'm not going to speak truth to you. I'm going to stay in my little bubble, stay in my delusion, listen to my girlfriends, and believe what I want to believe. Going back and reading, going back in history, even back to 1850 with Ain't I a Woman, all the way up to Bell Hooks with Ain't I a Woman, right? In the 1970s, in 1980s, 130 years later, black women were assigned to you. They're not organically your woman. They didn't organically raise you to be in a family unit like most parts of the world is, right? So you just happen to be slaves together. You happen to be on the same plantation. You happen to be of the same color. So they figure slaves should mix with slaves. So they assigned you a woman, and the woman was assigned a man, whether she wanted to be with him or not. Sometimes she had kids with him, sometimes she didn't, but they knew the propagation of the species, of the culture, depended on them getting together and them working together. Pauli Murray said in the 1940s that black women were in a state of rebellion. Frazier said that the black women had been in a state of rebellion since Lincoln, since the Emancipation Proclamation. Black women have been in a state of rebellion against black men since then. And that's true. The only reason that we get together is out of necessity. It comes to the point where you start realizing you can't make her Miss Ann. She didn't want to be with you. She had to be with you. And as soon as she didn't have to be with you, especially in the 1950s and 1960s with welfare and all the other state coming in and taking the place of the man becoming the baby daddy, most of them bounced. It took 10 years. It took 10 years, 40s, 30s, and 40s when she had to be with you. The marriage rate, or the marriage rate and out of wedlock rate was about 3%. As soon as the state stepped in and said she didn't need you anymore, it tripled and went to 9%. By the time Monahan looked at it, you were 23%. So was the marriage rate. It went all the way down from 90 to 80. Now, it stayed there until the 1980s with the crack era and stuff like that, and then it just blew up to what it is now, which, if you look from the 1950s to the 1980s, basically just flipped the whole 30 years. You flipped the whole marriage game upside down to where almost 90% of black people were married, or even whether they lived together or not, to the point where basically 70% of black people are unmarried. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it got in a short period of time. And why was that? Is because in her heart, she was always in rebellion against you. In her heart, she never really wanted to be with you. In her heart, she would toss you over the side for the dominant man in the society, which is a white man, in a heartbeat. She would. In fact, Pauli Murray in the 1940s and Bell Hooks said the exact same thing. Racism is not the white man putting a boot on your neck and holding you down, or killing you, or disappearing you. Racism was a white man refusing to marry a black woman. He'd get her pregnant. She'd have his baby, but he wouldn't marry her. And to women, most women, that is racism. Not that you can't get a job, not that you get proxy violence, none of that. That happens to the men. And this has been going on for so long. Frazier talked about it in the 30s. Du Bois talked about it in 1890. This stuff has been going on for hundreds of years. And at some point, black men are going to have to get tired. The first evolution of black men starting to get tired was with Black Manosphere 1.0. However you want to call it, even though it wasn't called that. It was proto-red pill black men. They're still blue pill. But the thing is, they saw the cracks in the armor. They saw the cracks in the institution, really for what little institution was left. But they still believed in it, that if we could fix it, if we could patch up the holes, we can get back to where we were. That was 15 years ago. And the manosphere and the black manosphere has advanced. Advanced to the point where all the hoo-ha and the crap, non-cooperation and all the other stuff that goes along with dating and marriage and being in the family, men, especially black men, are tired of it. So when we come together and complain about stuff that's true, some stuff that's absolutely true, we might say it in a certain tone they don't like, but it's absolutely true, we get labeled as toxic. I always read the Medium because that is anti-manosphere 101. If you want to go see anti-manosphere stuff, read the Medium. Read the Medium blogs. Talk about this stuff all the time. And one of these blogs is talking about old saying in Red Pill Pickup, she's not yours, it's just your turn. And they talk about how toxic that was sounding to them and how it made them not trust women. And they had to get away from it without realizing why men said it. they don't really care. They just know that they wholeheartedly believed in saying it, and how they embraced it so much that it ruined what they thought, instead of taking it as a precautionary tale. Instead of understanding what it meant, they just took it as gospel. That men were tired of getting burned, men were tired of getting hurt, men were tired of getting rejected, men were tired of getting cheated on and left. So you invent a theme, a meme called "She's not yours, it's just your turn. She doesn't belong to you." And wholeheartedly, I say that with a black woman. I said that a long time ago. She doesn't belong to you. And she will tell you she doesn't belong to you. Kevin tried to get a black woman, a black psychologist, black psychiatrist, psychologist that does this for a living, supposedly an enlightened being. And he walked you through all the other women. And all the other women, groups of women, belong to their men. Except when it comes to the Ados black woman. She choked up, she couldn't say it. And she had to admit, no, in their minds, they don't belong to us. They don't look at us as their husbands or partners, as they want to call it, because we know that partner is crap. They look at us as necessary tools, ConcuServes, if you will. We have a set of skills that is useful to advance their life, their livelihood, and their emotional state. And they leverage that. It's all well and good if you get black men get a return on investment, which the return on investment is piss poor. Anton Daniels was saying that most women, especially black women, think that a return on investment for what you give them is her opening her legs. Again, Austin Hollerman over there in Kenya, talking about dating in Kenya, where it's not a competition. It's not a competition. She's interested in you. She's interested in what you do, in your experience, how you see the world, because she wants to learn about you. And she wants you to learn about her. It's not a competition. In Ados Black America, our relationships are built about how high can she build the wall and how much you're willing to do to get over the wall. She's building barriers for you to get through. Even if she picks you and you're with her, I don't care if you're the best looking guy on the planet, where she's falling at your feet. When you get in a relationship with her, she's going to start trying to tear you down because she's in competition with you. You are her first competitor. And when you're a little boy and she likes you, you're her competitor. She wants to see, can you wrestle her down and defeat her for her heart? It's like Love and Basketball, right? What did she say? The whole time it was a competition. The whole time it was snarkiness. Even from the first time they met, it was competition. What did she say? I loved you since I was 11. And the very first time she was competing against him, even down to the last scene, or almost the last scene when they were on the court. I play you one-on-one for your heart. If I beat you, you got to marry me. Black men are tired of competing with their women. Tired of it. They're tired of matching blow per blow. Who makes more money? Who's the best educated? Who's the most more emotionally intelligent? Who's the best parent? Yada, yada, on and on and on and on and on. And then when you prove that you're better than us, guess what you do? If you win the competition, then you're going to disrespect us. And then you're going to make life miserable for us. Not that you don't, even if we're better than you. It's like if you're not competing against men, then life is boring. I always got to keep him on his toes. I always got to be doing something. You can never sit down, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. That's what they respect. You're serving them constantly. No, not that he's smart, not that he's intelligent, not that he has a vision of the world, not that he gives other things. How well does he serve you? And instead of giving him aspirations and words of wisdom pouring into him so that he can better serve you if that's what you wish, all you get is insults. All you get is sign language, which I understand where it came from. Sign language is actually developed to protect black boys, is because they didn't give a shit about black women for the most part. They wanted a boy. They wanted a boy for labor. They wanted to work him to death. They wanted to take advantage of what he had. And to black women's credit, the black mother's credit, She tamped him down so that the white man wouldn't take him away. The white man wouldn't abuse him. The white man wouldn't use him. The white man wouldn't put him in prison, wouldn't try to kill him, because that was the environment that we were in. But that environment changed in the 1950s. It's been almost 80 years since it changed. And guess what? 4 generations. But the pattern of disrespect, the pattern of snarkiness, the pattern of competition with your men didn't end. All feminism did was actually put you in more competition with your man, to the point where you sided with your so-called enemy, which is Miss Ann, to keep your man in his place. And then when it doesn't succeed and you don't get where you think you should be, or the man didn't put you where you should be because you didn't give him any help and you didn't give him any encouragement and you didn't need a yada, 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 right? You didn't do all this stuff. And then you blame him. And for a long time, we accepted that blame. Should have manned up. Should have been better. Should have fought the white people, even though it was a suicide mission. We accepted that. But I'm saying no more. No more. Black men are tired. That's why it's being popped up. You know what? If you don't think I'm good enough, if you don't think I can make you happy enough, if I'm not what you want, because what I'm hearing about all the negative things you say about me, I'm not what you want, you're constantly complaining instead of encouraging, then you need to find yourself another man, another group of men. You can't even date out without putting us down. You don't just hold up your white man and say he's better than a black man, which most black men wouldn't even care less, right? You have to show hatred towards us. That we forced you, like we forced you to be with a white guy. I wouldn't be with this white man if you dusty Negroes weren't so bad. If you took care of your kids, if you weren't so lazy, if you're more industrious, you're more inventive, you're more caring, yada, on and on and on and on, on and on and on. Which wasn't true. Black men have always taken care of their kids. Black men have always shared the household chores. Black men have always sacrificed themselves to make the family work. Black men have always showed emotional intelligence when mama ain't have a good day. Where do you think the happy wife, happy life comes from? It didn't come from white women. It came from black women. The old saying, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. That means everybody's got to do emotional labor to keep mama happy, to keep mama from wrecking the whole family. That you got to make her liver quiver to make her happy. Otherwise, she's going to mistreat you. There's whole groups of women that never had orgasms. Like 70% of white women or other women don't have orgasms, have never had an orgasm in their life. Don't let that be a black woman. Because a black woman said, if you don't make me orgasm, I'm going to cheat on you. Because you're not serving me properly. I'm going to find somebody that can serve me properly. And she'll tell you. And sometimes she'll tell you to your face. And black men have had to endure this for 200 years. And every time it looks like black men are going to get a leg up, a step up to get out of that hole that they're in, guess who kicks step over? Guess who blocks a step? It ain't the white woman. It ain't the white man. It's your own women. Why? Because they do not want you to be better than them. And if you do step up, you better bring them along with them. Black men are tired. Black men are tired of we don't want you. Black men are tired of you calling us dusty. Like they call passport bros incels and defeated men and yada, yada, yada. So a black man go set up shop someplace else, like the Philippines or Thailand or Colombia or wherever. You're going to get away from them, you're going to find a new group of women, and you're going to be happy. Guess who's on the plane following you? Guess who's going to the clubs where you frequent? You're with different women. And you go to the club to have a good time. Guess who's following you in the club? Are they there to meet the local men? No. They're there to try to take you away from what you're doing. They're trying to make you date them in another country. That's what all the shaming language is about. And they're the first ones on the plane to follow you to some destination. Even in Africa, most of the women that go to Africa don't get married to a guy. And if they do, they separate pretty quickly. Even O'Shea Jackson told black women, if you're going to come here looking for a man, forget it. Bring your man with you. But we're the dusties. We're the ones that are unwanted. and then claim that you're loyal, and you're not. Because if white men would take you wholesale, you'd leave in a heartbeat. And every black man knows that. If white men would take you wholesale to be his wife, y'all would leave in a heartbeat and never look back. Everybody knows that. But when we say this kind of stuff, we repeat this kind of stuff, even though we can prove it to the nth degree, it's toxic because it doesn't jive with what you want or how you feel. If a black man doesn't have his lips firmly planted on your behind, you're toxic. And I'm just here to tell you, it's not toxicity. We're just tired. Tired of beating our head into a brick wall, which is called black women. We're tired of getting slapped around by black women. We're tired of black women being violent verbally and physically. We're tired of being put down. We're tired of being talked about. We're tired of your insane demands. We have no control over the environment. We have no control over jobs. So we don't have that control. If you want a guy that has control over that, go talk to the white man. And most of the time, he don't have control of the crap. Tons of white men in the same boat that black men are. And you got all these ridiculous standards. That's why I said black men should practice indifference. We don't care what you want. We don't care what you do. Our thing is, go be happy and leave us alone. Let us go. Black men cannot get on a freaking plane and travel 8,000 miles without some black woman going behind him to see what he's doing. He's trying to make his life miserable. And they've shown it. I've seen so-called passport black women showing up at a club where black men are. And they'd just be chilling, dating the local women, and black women show up so they can actually try to shame and ruin a black man's time. Instead of getting with the local guys. If the local guys are interested and you want to try to get with them. That's what we're doing. We're trying to get with the local women. We don't travel 8,000 miles to date you. You can't even do that. White men and Latino men and Asian men have been traveling other countries for women and sex and all other kind of stuff. Nobody says anything. As soon as a black man does it, all of a sudden everything got to stop. You can't tell nobody else. Go over there, do your thing, but be quiet about it. Like we should be ashamed. I told Austin Holloman, the hell with all that. Stop being afraid of your women. Be who you are. And tell the truth from your perspective, whether you're knocking down hookers, or you're trying to date, or you're rotating plate, or you're trying to find a woman to marry. Stop being afraid of your women. And far too many men are afraid of their women. Far too many men, too many black men are basing their manhood by what a black woman thinks of them. I personally am tired. If they die alone, they die alone, man. Why are you so concerned about them dying alone? If the black community's dying, go find another community to belong to. It's not the only one on the planet. Got 8 billion people on the planet. Got millions of communities to belong to. Find one and basically join it. Leave this toxic, raggedy culture, this dysfunctional slave culture behind. Stop being afraid. Stop holding on to it. Stop holding on to abusive women. Because every time you get back with them, they're going to do the same thing they did in the 1970s. You just ended Jim Crow. You just ended Jim Crow. You just burned down cities to get yourself free. You just negotiated a peace with the white man, your former slave master. And guess who inserted herself in the way because she wanted to be up front and she wanted to keep the status quo. She wanted to keep her foot on your neck. You're a woman. The white man rules his foot off your neck. And guess who puts her foot on your neck? Your own woman. With the help of the white woman. Take your kids, take your family, take your money, take your programs, take your education, give it all to the white woman and then blame you for not getting it. Because all she did was take whatever they were going to give to your man, whatever portion of the share they were going to give to your man, and ran out and gave it to the white man. That's what the white woman did. And you would do the same if you could. If black women could take what they can get from black men and run over to that white man, they would do it. They just can't because they got no place to go. So, anyway, I probably could ramble on. There might have to be a part 2 to this one because, or an ongoing series because I'm serious. Black men are not toxic. The black manosphere is not toxic. It's tired. It's tired. And the only reason we do this, the only reason I do this is not to convince black women to do anything because I could care less. If I could help black women find their happiness with other men, I would. That way they can shut up and leave us alone. I'm here, just like Morpheus, I'm here trying to free black men's minds. You've been abused for so long by your woman and by this society has beaten you down so long you don't know how to let go of it. You're still trying to save it. You're still trying to patch it up against all odds. I'm going to die on this hill. We are not Lieutenant Dan. We're not here to die in service of a so-called noble cause. Stop being afraid of your women. If you're toxic and toxic is going to let you free, because a small dose of poison can heal you. What do you think all those medicines are? Those medicines are poisons, but they're in doses, medicinal doses, they can heal you. Take that small dose of toxicity to actually free yourself and heal yourself. Use it as a key to unleash those chains. Let her go. Be indifferent. Go be happy. And when you do, you tell her the same thing. Go be happy. I told that to my fiance when she used to talk crap about finding another man. I said, go be happy. I tell all my women, when I leave or you leave, I tell them, go be happy. That way you won't be coming around trying to make me miserable. Go be happy. Because I'm going to try my damnedest to be. Anyhow, with that, I'm going to jump off here. This is BGS out, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.